remembering a fallen Bellevue police officer.
To Officer Jordan Jackson, call sign 7boy23. You are cleared for end of watch.
The community says goodbye to Officer Jordan Jackson, who died in the line of duty.
The world has lost by Chris not being here.
Retail theft is on the rise, and in some cases, it's costing lives. We're hearing from one family still searching for answers after a shooting at the South Center Mall.
Governor Jay Inslee could be getting a raise, along with every state lawmaker in Olympia.
We really want to hear what the public has to say about these salaries.
Why the state wants to hear from taxpayers before anything is set in stone.
And keeping the daycare doors open to parents in Snohomish County.
It's heartbreaking. Makes me feel like I didn't do enough for my kids.
New funding coming from the government to do just that. King 5 News at 4 starts right now.
Jordan was known by his friends and his coworkers as kind, generous, brave, hardworking, adventurous, and committed to his job in serving the public.
The community says goodbye to Bellevue Police Officer Jordan Jackson. The procession and celebration of life wrapped up within the last 60 minutes.
Officer Jackson died November 21st in Bellevue from injuries he suffered in a crash while he was on duty. Jackson had been with the department for 4 years. He was just 34 years old.
Law enforcement officers from across our region turned out to take part in the procession and support Jackson's family. Thanks for choosing King 5. I'm Steve Solis.
I'm Greg Copeland. King 5's Natalie Swaby has been following the procession and celebration of life since 11 o'clock this morning. Natalie.
Well, Officer Jordan Jackson is survived by his wife, Kelsey, and his 2 young children, and they were surrounded by their family and friends and community members today as he was remembered right here. Now, I want to get to some video from earlier today to show you what it looked like this morning. Bellevue police officers lined up along the final leg of the processional route to pay their respects as his family arrived for the celebration of life. Inside, there were lots of family members, his Bellevue police family, and childhood friends, too. They said he was an incredible father and husband, and he had a passion for public service, working as a medic, a volunteer firefighter, and in 2018, he joined the Bellevue Police Department, where he spent time connecting with the community, and 2 years ago, he joined the motor unit. Officer Kevin Beretta was his motorcycle partner.
I was honored that a man like Jordan could be my best friend. He inspired me daily and made me a better person. Anyone who had an interaction with Jordan knows he was very thoughtful with his words. He enriched everyone's life that he came in contact with.
But we'll remember all the ways that he inspired us to live life to the fullest, care for your family and your community, have a sense of adventure, and most of all, do everything with love.
You are cleared for end of watch. Thank you for your service. Job well done.
And that message there from Bellevue Police Department's chief. Now, we'll have much more from inside today's celebration of life coming up tonight at 5 o'clock. But for now, live in Bellevue, Natalie Swaby, King 5 News.
Officer Jackson was raised in Bellevue in the Cougar Mountain Lakemont area. He graduated from Issaquah High School and Central Washington University. As Natalie mentioned, leaves behind his wife, Kelsey, and their 2 young children, ages 2 and 4.
Earlier this week, we heard from one of Jackson's childhood friends, Dan Degginger. He describes Jackson as somebody who went above and beyond his call of duty to help others.
The best friends you could ask for, someone who would drop what he was doing to help you out. All he ever wanted to do was help people, and he did it in the same community that he grew up in.
Jackson was also very involved with the Boys and Girls Club of Bellevue. He helped with their affordable housing programs to help feed children in the community. We're going to have coverage on Jackson's celebration of life all evening long here on King 5.
If you'd like to support his family tonight, the Bellevue Police Foundation has set up a memorial fund, and that fund will directly support Officer Jackson's wife and 2 young children. For a link, text the word Jackson to 206-448-4545. It is a story that we have been following now for months. Retail theft on the rise in Western Washington and nationwide, and in some cases, These crimes are happening near major centers like malls.
King 5's Eric Azuko is live with a look at the problem and one heartbreaking case still unsolved today, Erica.
Right. Some local police departments are stepping up patrols near high-impact retail centers, trying to keep shoppers safe during this busy holiday season. This as some business groups report a rise in retail crime this year.
In a recent survey of small businesses, 37% reported theft in the past year. 14% said it happens monthly or more. 33% said they've seen an increase over last year. And 34% said the problem gets worse during the holidays. In many of these incidents, no one was physically hurt. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce and National Retail Federation say a growing number of crimes have become violent, with more armed suspects frequenting retail centers. It comes as Tukwila police continue searching for a suspect in a tragic shooting during an attempted car theft in the parking garage at South Center Mall. Family and friends are mourning the loss of Chris Weslowicz, remembered for the big smile, giant hugs, and energy he brought to every room he entered.
The world has lost immeasurably by not having Chris. And it's not, those of us who met him and got a chance to experience life with him, we will always carry that in our hearts. But it's all the people who didn't get a chance. They've truly lost meeting an amazing human being.
And we'll have more on that story coming up at 5. This year, the State Attorney General's office did launch a task force to address the issue of organized retail crime. Reporting in downtown Seattle, Eric Azuko, King 5 News.
Coming up at 4:30, we are taking a closer look at public safety in Puyallup. The police chief there met with business owners after a barber was shot and killed while cutting a little boy's hair. The message from the chief ahead for us at 4:30.
Now it's time for the Fast Five. A 5-year-old boy who was kidnapped in Mount Vernon still missing tonight. Warrants have been issued for both the missing boy's foster mother, Amanda Dinges, and her mother, Amber Dinges. If you have any information, call police.
The person accused of killing 5 people inside a Colorado nightclub 2 weeks ago was charged with 305 criminal counts today, including hate crimes and murder. Anderson Lee Aldrich is accused of opening fire inside the LGBTQ club, killing 5 people and injuring 17 others.
Some cannabis shops are scrambling after experiencing some outages with cashless ATMs, as according to Bloomberg. The ATMs gave shops a workaround to being cash only. Though marijuana is legal in states like Washington, banks typically don't want to work with dispensaries since the drug is still federally illegal.
Centralia police are warning about rainbow fentanyl in the community. Over the weekend, officers arrested a suspect who was carrying a baggie with more than 50 pills in it. Rainbow fentanyl poses a new threat to children, especially since it looks like candy. Even a small amount can be deadly.
The Tulalip tribes are getting money to help prepare for rising sea levels due to climate change. The tribes will get nearly $370,000 from NOAA to come up with a plan to protect tribal buildings near Tulalip Bay. The study will also help the tribes determine how they can protect fish and wildlife.
Well, more than 120 collisions. That is the number the Washington State Patrol is reporting to our southeast near Yakima, Kennewick, and Walla Walla, thanks to icy conditions and speeding.
I'll give you a live look at traffic in that region right now. Traffic does seem to be moving smoothly, but we have more rain and more snow moving in for the rest of the week.
Let's turn to meteorologist Adam Claybon, and another chance of rain tomorrow at some point. We're talking more snow.
Hey, we are talking snow. The lowlands get a break from the snow this time around. It looks like it's going to be all up into the mountains, although you can just see that we were dealing with some issues there with some past travel. Now, what we do expect is that today it's going to be a few spotty showers. Temperatures right now, upper 30s, lower 40s, a little warmer than where we have been recently. You can see west coast wide, seeing some showers down in California. Most of the rain up this way is either farther off to the south across parts of South Sound around Thurston and Pierce County, and then you go farther north and we can see some across the San Juan Islands, up across more of Skagit and Whatcom counties, and that's been more persistent, but generally very light rain. And yeah, you might see snowflakes mixing in here or there, but no issues at all when it comes to accumulating snowfall with any of that. So as we go on into the night, Puyallup, again, your spotty chances of rain will be around, but mainly just cloudy skies for many of us, especially across more of Central Sound too. Temperatures trying to fall tonight, but it looks like we'll hold on to more of the upper 30s for some of those overnight lows, and then we'll head on into our day tomorrow, and it looks like a lot of the day probably going to stay dry, but we do have more of a widespread chance of rain and a heavier chance of rain coming in towards the tail end of Wednesday. We'll talk about that and what that will mean for snow across the mountains coming up.
Sounds good, Adam. And make sure you have the King 5 app handy. It's the fastest way to get weather and traffic updates for your area sent right to your phone. Just text the word app to the number on your screen, 206-448-4545, for a link to download it.
Some of our state's legislators may be getting a raise next year.
As much as 4%. Still ahead on King 5, why one elected official says it is needed. Also, parents are still struggling to find child care. What Snohomish County is doing to keep daycares open.
Plus, new video out of Tacoma as a driver narrowly misses crowds at a holiday parade. We're going to walk you through the route and changes the police are making tonight. King 5 News at 4 returns in just 2 minutes.